On episode 213 of He Said, She Said movie reviews, we take a look at the HBO movie, The Many Saints of Newark. Welcome to He Said, She Said movie reviews. This is the podcast where a happily married couple with similar but different movie tastes take a quick, spoiler-free look at the movies, helping you make the right decision before your next movie. I'm your host, Tim.
And I'm April.
So we just watched The Many Saints of Newark. What do you give this one, April?
You know, just because of the dynamics and several other things, I'm going to give it a 4.
Okay. For me, it's a 3. And I actually have a split score. I think it could also be a 4 for me, but there's a reason why I'll give it a 3, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. I guess we'll talk about it right now. Since we saw this streaming on HBOMax, you can also see this in the theaters, by the way, right now.
Right.
But it's also, if you're an HBO customer and you have HBOMax, you can watch it on HBOMax. For those of you who don't know, this is a prequel to the Sopranos TV series. According to HBO Max, witness the making of Tony Soprano, the story that reveals the humanity behind Tony's struggles and the influences of his family, especially from his uncle, Dickie Moltisanti, and had over him becoming the most iconic mob boss of all time.
Okay, the director was Alan Taylor, known for Game of Thrones, of course, The Sopranos. And what else, Tim?
Thor, The Dark World, and Terminator Genesis.
Absolutely. Writer David Chase, known for The Sopranos, 86 episodes. And also, fun fact, The Rockford Files for 17 episodes.
Also, Lawrence Konner, who's known for The Sopranos, Planet of the Apes, and Star Trek 5, The Undiscovered Country. This has a fantastic cast, of course. I'm going to butcher some of these names. Alessandro Nivola, Leslie Odom Jr., Vera Farmiga, John Bernthal, Corey Stoll, Ray Liotta, Michela de la Rossi, Michael Gandolfini, and Billy Magnussen.
Good job, Tim. Runtime 120 minutes, rated R for strong violence. Not good language, sexual content, and some nudity.
Okay, I'll let you go first.
Okay. I'm going to start out by saying that Tim and I are huge Soprano fans. Another fun fact, when we were on a honeymoon trip in Ashland, Oregon, there were some fires that were so bad we had to turn around. So what we did, because our darling daughter was being kept by her Nana and Pop, we decided to get The Sopranos, and we binge watched all of them.
Yeah, I think we went to Blockbuster like 3 times this weekend. And for those of you who don't know what Blockbuster is, that's a video rental store.
Right, which is one of the best. And there's only one left in the entire nation. Their headquarters was actually where we lived. Another fun fact. But anyway, so we were obsessed with it, saw it, and of course, over the years, went back to a few of the episodes. So with that being said, of course, when this came out, we couldn't wait. I want to say that I really enjoyed this, the dynamics, the history, there was a lot about this that I liked, but I was even delighted to hear that there's going to be more.
Yeah, Are they making this into a series?
Yeah, I don't know about a series, but they've ordered a couple more episodes, which is great. So let's get into it.
All right, so here, I said at the top that I had a slight problem with it. And I'll tell you what my problem with this is. And this goes to exactly what the storyline that HBO Max gave us, where witness the making of Tony Soprano. Okay. I think that was false advertising. I don't think this was a prequel, a story about Tony Soprano. Yes, he was a character in this. Right. He was a side character.
Right.
This was a story about Dickie Moltisanti. Dickie Moltisanti is the protagonist in this.
I hear you.
It's not the young Tony Soprano.
All right.
And I think all the advertising and the trailers all made us believe that this was going to be a story about Tony Soprano.
I disagree, and I'll tell you why. To understand Tony and to cover Tony as a child and a teenager, you've got to cover his world and his family. So for me, I was of the opposite opinion. I really enjoyed the whole story. The uncle, his dad's friends, watching what his mother went through with his dad. I mean, there was just a lot of things, okay? So we disagree on that, but that's fine.
Yeah, but the young Tony Soprano wasn't the protagonist of this movie.
So what? I learned all more about Tony because of his family.
I think this was a movie set in the Sopranos world.
I think it was very well acted. It was totally believable. The story alone of Dickie, talk about how I had to teach my daughter young, what do bad people look like? Good people. He is just, I was just, every time he was so evil, I was just shocked. But that story, just the story of, just the story. I thought Ray Liotta did a great job. I thought Alessandro did a great job. I loved watching Vera in this. I thought all the different characters were well done.
Okay, but let's just for a moment, too, talk real quickly about Michael Gandolfini.
He did such a good job.
He did such a good job playing the young version of a role that his father did. Yep. And it must have been for him as an actor to play this iconic role that his dad did and everything. It must have been great for him. I thought, and he looks just like a young version of his
mannerisms. And also, I really enjoyed all the way down to what the principal had to say about him as a kid, being a leader, right? When his mother didn't believe in him that much.
Right. And once again, this goes back to my disappointment, too, in this movie, is I would have loved to have seen more of him in it.
Yeah.
Because he
did
such a good job.
Well, that's maybe what the future's about. But anyway, let's stay on point.
We are staying on point. We're talking about this movie.
Okay. Anyway, I just thought the acting, I thought even the character development of the women, too, that they're not the top story. They're a side story.
Yeah.
Okay. But everything was great. I thought the direction was really good.
Yeah, no. I don't really remember much about the score, but one thing I did like is with the closing credits, they broke in with the Sopranos theme song.
Yes,
so
we got a kick out of that.
I really enjoyed that. Cinematography, well, it's set in New Jersey. What more can you say about that?
Well, it was pretty believable, though, especially the time frame.
Well, right, because I believe it was set in the 70s.
Yes, and to show the small businesses the way they did, because that's something I remember. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So I enjoyed that. The clothes, spot on.
Yeah,
production design, yes. Yeah. All good. What did you think about the special effects?
Well, the only special effects we had in there was violence, and once again, it's gratuitous violence because it's The Sopranos.
That's hard.
So you see a lot of stuff that for the squeamish people, that if you're squeamish at all, it's going to be hard.
There was a murder scene that was particularly difficult, but okay.
Editing fine.
Yeah, pace.
I thought the movie was a little slow at times, but once again,
that's how they were telling the story.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes when I say pace, not every movie is an action-adventure movie with a fast pace.
Right. No, so true.
So sometimes you have to build characters, right?
Right. And I thought there was some really good dialogue. You did too. Between the family.
Of course. You had the original writers from the Sopranos television show, and if you like the dialogue and the back and forth that was in the Sopranos, you'll love the dialogue in this movie. It's much the same.
True. Story arc, you've already mentioned
to me,
you.
Yeah. For me, this is where the movie failed, because once again, I was expecting this huge backstory of Tony Soprano, which I didn't get.
Right. Well, what's funny for me, now I'm more interested in more of Tony, but I needed the dynamics, the background, all the way down to his dad in prison and the relationship with his mom. And wow, he and his uncle were tight. Yeah. I feel like it gave me a real, I don't know how to say it, a platform to watch whatever's coming. But there's something else I liked. How they filmed this, I can't explain this, but this is hard to put into words. This is sometimes very much a dark theme, okay? And sometimes with dark themes, people, when they film films, they make them dark, okay? This somehow was just right. The lighting, just how they filmed the scenes kept me into it, because it was kind of long. And I, it was 2 full hours, and you know how I am.
Oh, yeah, it was 2 full hours.
But guess what? In the end, I was fine. Pulled in. So I was delighted, and I'm so happy they're doing more.
Yeah, so am I. I mean, once again, as you said at the top, you and I both really loved The Sopranos. It was a show that we binged watch and fell in love with. So, yeah, I can't wait for more.
Right. It was just fascinating. I mean, Tony's father's wife, Vera Farmiga, she's great. But what is the girlfriend, Tim?
I can't remember. I think that was the girl from Italy.
Yes. Michela di Rossi.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, she was amazing. Totally believable. Every angle she was in. So anyway, I just think it's worth seeing. So,
oh yeah. Once again, if you are a Sopranos fan, definitely see this because once again, it is a movie set in the Sopranos world. If you're really looking for a strong origin story for Tony Soprano, you're not going to get it from this movie, in my opinion.
Right. And in my opinion, and what do I know? I only have a master's in counseling, and I have a BA in psychology.
Huh? Okay.
And I'm also incredibly into people dynamics, intuition, so forth. I think it was absolutely fascinating to see everything I saw. And for me, the most meaningful is a scene inside young Tony's school with the principal, his mother, and Tony.
Well, like I said, it's a great movie set in the Sopranos world.
There we go. All right. Well, everybody, I want to say thank you so much for all your support. Tim and I, it is such the movie time of year. Yes, many of you call, you write, and several of you have found your way to us through very interesting ways. The answer is, of course not. We see far more than we do podcasts for. And I'm talking Tim into 2 separate ones. I've seen many great things lately that are worth reviewing. He's seen a few. So I think we're going to probably do 2 back to back where I cover what I've seen. He covers what he's seen. Then we're back on because y'all are asking a lot about several things. One, the new Melissa McCarthy movie, Scenes from a Marriage. I've seen that. Tim, I mean, you've seen.
Well, I'm a huge fan of the Series C on Apple TV, and I'm just about to finish up season 2 of C, which once again has not disappointed in my opinion, and I can't wait to talk about that some more.
And he got a special invitation to something from Dune, so there we go. We appreciate y'all so much, and I look forward to you staying healthy and happy. We'll see you at the movies.
See you at the movies, and thanks for listening.